if you are finding yourself at this place where you have to start making some choices, how to even begin that process and make the choice between keeping, selling, donating, trashing, where to begin with that. Right now, as we are selling everything to travel abroad, I am asking myself about every single thing that we own. Is this serving us? Is it going to bring value? Could someone else use it? Is it worth anything? All of these questions that I wish with many of them I would have asked myself years ago and saved myself time now. But I want to provide some ideas and questions that you can do for your things to save you energy down the road and honor the things that you have. So many of them we got with the best of intentions and because we were drawn to it. I'm somebody who I really want to know they're going to a good place. If I'm getting rid of stuff, I want someone to use it. I don't want a bunch of stuff just sitting on my shelves, not getting used or in cabinets. I want to know that it's being either repurposed, reused, someone's going to get it. I don't want to trash things if I can at all help it. So I wanted to share some ideas, some tips. So the first question you can ask yourself, this is the utility test. It's how much does this matter to you really? Have you used it in the last 12 months? Does it mean something to you? Are you attached to it? Not from a codependent, not healthy place, but genuinely, this is an absolute yes for you in your life. That's one thing. If you haven't touched it in years and you just feel like this, you haven't questioned it, I challenge you to question it. Because there's going to come a time where you're not taking it with you when you go. So someone's going to have to deal with and figure out what to do with that. So that's the first one, is gut checking. What are the things that really mean something to you? You're connected to them. You really want to have them going forward, and they're serving a purpose. You're using them. So that's group one. That's the keep group. Group two is the sell group. So this is my favorite group because I get this little bit of a high off of selling things and knowing they're going to someone that would pay money for them. They're excited about it. So how I have done this is I tend to do this in batches. I will go through things. I will look at my phone, and sometimes I'll just take a photo of it in a Google search, like an image search, and it'll come up and show me what that thing is if I'm not sure what it is, or if I'm not sure if it's worth something. I had to do this a ton when I was helping my son sell all his Legos. Almost like half of the minifigures, we would snap photos and do a little research. Some of those minifigures went for like $30+ each. So it was well worth the time, but it was very tedious. You can start to see what things are going for and make the choice if that's worth your energy or not. On eBay, you can either take that photo or type in, if you know what it is, scan the barcode if it's like a book or a movie, and then go to the filter and change it to sold. That way you can see what things are actually selling for, not what, neighbor Joe is trying to get for his used vacuum cleaner that is totally out of this world in pricing, but what they're actually going for. And it is shocking sometimes, the random things that people are buying up. There are old cameras, chargers, there is old electronics, record players. Some of the things that we think is going to go for a lot doesn't. And then other things, it's sort of mind-blowing. So I challenge you to actually take a moment and look, do a little research if you're not sure. And so again, I'm going to go back. What I did for this, there were times where I had the time and I could go through and scan things as I was sorting. Other times that would have just made me stop in my tracks and lose all motivation. So I'd have a box and I would just put all the things that I thought maybe would go for something that wasn't part of my keep category. I would start to put them together and plan on looking at them later. That way, one night I could be sitting there watching a movie and I could just casually scan them while I'm in another kind of mindset. So that was like action mode and then research mode. So that's what I did for selling. And there's places like Poshmark as well. There are consignment stores. There are Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp. There's so many options. So if you have any questions about a certain item, maybe I or someone else here can give you advice on the best way to go about that. eBay is not always the easiest thing. For big things in person, sometimes marketplaces or Craigslist. But all of it's energy, and all of it, you have to weigh the profit versus the energy going into it. Garage sale is another thing. That's what I've been doing as well. We're going to have a big moving sale right before we go. So I have been pricing things and just putting them in boxes. What I would do though, and this is just from a lot of experience having sales and having sold things online, is I would first check if that thing was worth enough more by me selling it online than it would be at a garage sale. There are certain things that you've paid a decent amount for that are brand name or they are just unique that you can get a decent amount online, but the odds that someone's going to show up at a garage sale and buy that for any amount close to that are slim. So that's what worked for me. Once I discovered what I wasn't going to sell online, I would price it and put it away for my next sale. Trying to put it in like bins or things like that. If you have mice issues or anything like nature things that you have to watch for, just put it in a safe place. There's nothing worse than going through all that and then finding out like mice lived in your clothing box. Like we don't want anything to do with that. The next thing is ask yourself when you're trying to decide, do I keep it? Do I sell it? You can ask yourself, would you replace this if it broke? Now, this is a really big thing. I have had like a bunch of stuff in my storage locker when I was in my 20s get wet and mildewed and get ruined. I've had a house flood and tons of stuff got ruined. I have been divorced where half of my stuff went to somebody else. So I've learned the art of detachment through many, many layers of things in my life. And now here I am selling everything. So ask yourself if you could replace it ultimately for like $20 in a new destination, or if you ever needed it someday, is that enough, like a small price to pay if you do possibly need it someday, that you now don't have to have it keep, space in your house all of this time? Kind of weigh that choice. If the odds are you probably don't need it and you're pretty fine getting rid of it and you can replace it for cheaper, borrow it, I would recommend doing that. The next thing is donate. Ask yourself, is there another use for this? Could someone else use it and it's just no longer fitting you and your lifestyle? There are so many things like that where thrifting is a really popular thing nowadays. And it's such a great thing when people are able to donate things, and younger people or just people looking for a change can come in and get stuff at a deal. So donating these things, and there are incredible thrift shops of all sorts. Don't just go to the big ones by default. My town has a really great one that supports families in hospice with a family member in hospice care. And so they just do this really beautiful work. It's all run by like volunteers, and that everything donated there ultimately ends up helping people in a really beautiful way. The next thing is also you can donate to colleges for like if you have books or museums. Look into if you have historical things that you just want to make sure they go to the right place. Look into that. Pet shelters, I've heard will take like good towels, things like that for pets that need that. Do a little search if you have a lot of something you're not sure what to do with, or throw it in the comments here and we can try to help you brainstorm. Anything is better than something just ending up in the trash. That is the last resort that we want to have happen. The trash thing, I'm just going to talk about this for a split second. I we go through like maybe 2 bags of trash a month. Like, I am very careful about not bringing trash in our home if I can at all help it. Now, with that said, sometimes we'll burn like papers and cardboards and stuff like that. We have a way here. So that isn't filling my trash like it might be in another life scenario. But right now in our life, we're able to pull this off. We use, like I've mentioned in other videos, like reusable paper towels for the most part, and just keep things reusable where we can. So I have noticed, though, as I'm going through everything, that one thing that is causing a little bit of a catch for me is throwing stuff away. But there are some things that are clearly trash, and there's no way around it. They're old, broken, like an old broken router. It's like a piece of plastic that's just, it's broken, it's not functioning, it needs to go in the trash. Or some of my notebooks, I was able to rip the pages out so that those could be recycled, but the little metal part is just going to have to go in the trash. So I've had to just surrender a little bit and give myself permission to fill the trash bag full of trash. And it's only added up to a few, but I've noticed that that's a thing for me. And so I think we all have that part of us that we have to gut check. Yours might not be trash, but it's something. And so simply paying attention when you kind of get that feeling in your stomach that's like, oh, you're avoiding something, or you're maybe not dealing with stuff because that's what's going to happen to it. Pay attention to that. So you may not be prepping for a big move, but I promise you, if you can sort through some of your things and have them go to the right places, you are going to feel so much better. And you are really setting yourself up for more peace of mind, having those things kind of carry on and have a life of their own. It's such a good feeling. I've talked about this before, but when my mom passed away, we donated most of her clothing to an organization that helps women starting over. And that felt so good to us because clothing is such a personal thing that it could easily have been a tendency to want to hold on to it all. But I'm a different body shape than my mom, and so are my sisters. And so we had a few relatives that took a few things, but for the most part, she had tons of clothes that had tags on them still. Things from QVC and, nice stuff. But it was really nice to donate that and feel good about where it was going. So I encourage you, if you have a way, if you're not interested in selling it, if that's not your thing, you don't need the money, and that energy part of that is not what you're into, then donate it. There are so many beautiful ways you can do that. And it can also be a really great opportunity to bond with someone else in your life, maybe that has the muscles to show up and help you with it, or a little bit of time, invite someone over for some coffee and go through some things. You're not going to be bothering people. And in fact, it can be a really lovely way to bond with someone and hear some of the stories about things that you've had in your life. So I highly recommend doing that. If you're alone or you live with people that don't want to be dealing with it, reach out to some people that you think would sit with you in this space and kind of offer encouragement. I loved getting to do that with my grandparents. And as overwhelming as it was, and as stubborn as they were about some of the stuff, getting rid of it, I'm still so grateful I got that time with them. I got to hear so many stories. And it made me feel good knowing that I was able to spend time with them. I was able to bring my son oftentimes with me. And so he got to hang out with them while I would go through things. It was just a really lovely experience that I still think of, even though they're not here anymore today. So that's what I would recommend if you are trying to decide how to get rid of things. You've made the choice, you're ready to, and it's just a little overwhelming. Do that gut check on how to keep, sell, donate trash. I have a couple more videos on this if you want to look back through my videos and the Simplifying Life playlist. You can find more. If you have any other comments you would add about this, or if you're working on this, I would love to hear from you. Also, keep an eye out for anyone else's questions. We can all learn from each other. And so if you have questions or you see another question, be supportive and kind. And we're all doing our best here. And see if you can help offer them solutions as well. All right, I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks for being here. Bye.